Hey guys, what's up? Cheese Pie Double 13 here. Welcome to the second episode of the Cheese Pie podcast. Yeah, didn't think I would make another episode. Guess what? I'm doing it right now. I'm making it. Who knows if I'll follow through and actually upload it? Hopefully. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, but no guarantees because I don't know what the cheese pie of the future will be doing. That's unknown. It's the future. Don't know what the future holds. Anyway, got some fantastic topics this week. Got a nice, not spreadsheet, Word document. Made that mistake last episode. Made the same mistake this episode, almost. But then I caught myself. Word document, Google Drive. Don't hack me, please. Thanks. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff. So why don't we get right into it with good old Quantum Break. It's not old yet. It's kind of new. It hasn't even come out yet. That's how new it is. But we're still going to talk about it anyway. So, big news this week. Quantum Break is coming to the personal computer, the PC. Can you believe it? I'm glad. I'll tell you that much right now. I'm glad that's happening because I haven't really cared about Quantum Break. I'm like, oh, it looks kind of cool from the random footage I've seen here and there. But I'm like, I don't have an Xbox One, and I probably won't be getting an Xbox One. If anything, I'm going to get a PS4 because I just like Uncharted and whatever Media Molecule's coming up with. I like the games more on PlayStation. Just my personal preference. Nothing wrong with liking Halo and Gears of War and all those other games. And yeah, I just thought always going to come to Xbox One. Probably never going to get an Xbox One, at least not in the near future. Quantum Break doesn't really need to be on my radar at all. So now it is, because it's coming to PC. I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued. Maybe I'll look into this game. I like time travel as a concept. Hopefully it works well as a shooter. Should be interesting. But that's not the big news. That's not the big news topic. Like, it's coming to PC, but just the response of that by the frickin' gaming community has been very interesting. Yeah, and so yeah, let's just say some Xbox One fanboys have been a little tiny pissed off about their game. It's not their game. Like, the game that was going to be coming exclusively to their system is now also going to be on another system, the personal computer. I get it. I get why they'll be angry. I probably assume some of these people would get angry, but that's just based on them being the fanboy type who have nothing better to do, apparently, than go on the internet and complain how a game that they thought they would be able to brag to other people about, now they can't brag as much because it's coming on another system. And it's just, oh my goodness, I've like for the past while I've just been ignoring a lot of the fanboy comments. Like, whenever I see, I'm like, say I'm reading a comment on some random gaming forum or some like YouTube video. So it's like blah blah blah, I'm reading it, and then halfway through I realize it's a fanboy comment. I just skip it. I'm like, okay, who cares? Why should I care what a fanboy thinks? Like, their opinion is going to be so biased. It's going to give me no information. It's just gonna, it's not helpful to me in any way to read a fanboy comment. It's just not. It's just like, why do I care? Why do I care if you like, what you're saying isn't based on any facts? It's based on the fact that you are a fanboy and that your opinion will always be one way no matter what the external factors are. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to, well, it's not hard. What am I saying? It's hard. It's just, I just ignore them. That's basically what I've been doing for a long time. I remember when I owned a PS3 and a lot of my friends, yeah, I'm calling you guys out, owned an Xbox 360. It's like, Xbox 360 is so much better. Well, guess what? PS3 got better in the end. I don't care though. Like, I just like the games more. Like Uncharted, Little Big Planet. What else? That's it. That's all the games. That's all the games I care about. Now there's been other PS3, PlayStation exclusives that I've liked, but really, like just like whatever, like the only thing that should matter when you're getting a system is the features, the games, and what system your friends have if you want to play with them. That's pretty much it. It shouldn't matter like, oh, it's made by Microsoft and I got Microsoft's last system, so I better get it again. Or oh, it's made by PlayStation and PlayStation, yo, they're the best because they're the best and that's it. All hail Sony. It doesn't make any sense. And obviously, PC's the best because Master Race. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I don't get it. Like it's just a bunch of annoying fanboys canceling their pre-orders. First of all, like why are you gonna pre-order this far in advance? I like I don't know how much gameplay, how much is revealed by the game, but I haven't seen much. So like maybe you should wait. Maybe you should wait to pre-order at least, you know. And yeah, maybe you should I don't know. I don't know. Do whatever. Just buy the game if you want to buy the game. Like, is who cares? Who cares? Why am I still on this topic? Let's move on to the next one, because this one is just boring. It's like a bunch of fanboys being fanboys. Okay, next one. What's the next topic? Yo, it is of course, you know it, Rocket League. So earlier this week, the new Rocket League update came out with Rocket Labs playlist and the new competitive season 2. I don't know, whatever they're calling it. Season 2. They're calling it season 2. I can see it right here. Right here. I'm looking at it right now. So okay, let's start off with the new competitive mode. You know what? Let's do that. I was gonna start off with Rocket Labs. Now I'm gonna start out with competitive mode. I'm going against the Word document, being spontaneous and unpredictable. That's just the way I roll. So yeah. So basically, what happened is season 1, which was basically, so you get points. I'll explain season 1 first. Season 1, you get points. Once for what you get points for winning. You lose points for losing. And then you basically just move up and down the leaderboards. Like every 100 points gets you a new rank title. So like unranked was 0 to 100. 100 to 200 was bronze 1. Then there's bronze 2. After that, bronze 3 maybe. I don't know. I didn't get higher than bronze 2. That was the highest I made it to. Yeah, that's the way the news goes. But so whatever happened to that season ended, you got like a crown based on how high of a rank you got. I got the bronze crown because that's the highest I made it. So yeah, got that. That's cool. So now season 2. Season 2 basically starts you off with everyone starts off unranked. And what you do is you play 10 games, and those 10 games place you into a division. Not the division, that's a different game. Into a division rank or whatever, based on how well you do on those first 10 games. And overall, there are 12 divisions. There's they're kind of grouped into like 3, so there's like bronze, silver, and gold, but in this case there's silver, gold, and blue. I don't know why blue. Maybe platinum, maybe that's colored platinum. I don't know. I've never owned any platinum, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But yeah, so I'll tell you about my experience. I usually play 2v2. I think that's the best amount of people to play with in a Rocket League match, just based on different strategies and stuff. That's personal preference. And so I played 10 matches of that, and I got ranked as a prospect elite, which is the 4th ranked division, and it's right below the like silver tier, because it's like 4 ranks I'm making this up. This isn't actually how it is, but I'm just gonna call it bronze, silver, and gold because it makes sense. So bronze has four ranks, and I was in the top rank of bronze. And yo, the crazy thing is I like lost a bunch of matches in in the first 10 games I had to play. I wasn't doing very good, but as soon as I got placed in the prospect elite rank, which is the highest bronze rank, yo, I just started winning every game. I don't know, man. I guess they didn't do a very good job at placing me, because apparently in like, I don't know, maybe 5 games I got ranked up. I ranked up to Challenger 1, which is the first rank in silver, which I'm pretty happy about because it took me so long to rank up in the freaking season 1, but now season 2 I do it instantly. I don't know. I don't get it, but I did it. And that's all that really matters. So I'm a Challenger 1 now, which is first rank in the silver stuff, which is technically the color of the badge is gold, but whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. That's cool and stuff. Yeah, and also they brought over the Wasteland map, which is the map that kind of slopes into the middle. They brought that map into the ranked mode, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. I know a lot of people weren't too happy. Like, it was kind of split. But I'm just like, okay, you know what? Let's talk about the Rocket Labs maps, because I have something to tie it in at the end, but I need to talk about both of them first. So Rocket Labs, they got 3 new maps, as I mentioned last week. Underpass, Utopia, Double Goal. The plan for Rocket Labs anyway is just to make maps as quickly as possible and put them in that playlist and see which ones work the best, and then make those into real maps, like add the environment details that all the other maps have, and then put those into the actual other modes. So let's talk about the maps. I'll tell you what my opinion on them are. The first map let's talk about is Underpass. So I don't know if you probably can see the footage right now. Hopefully I put the footage in for Underpass, but it's basically, you got 2 nets either side, but on the sides it's actually like a higher platform up, which makes for some interesting gameplay around those parts. And there's also like a big like overpass over the net, which is cool. That there's been some crazy goals from that. Overall, I feel like this map, it adds some unique gameplay, and I think it's a good map. I think, like, my personal opinion is, I think they should keep this map. At least, yeah, if I'm choosing, like, based on these maps, whether to keep them in the game or cycle them out for maybe a different kind of map and test a different one, I would keep it in Underpass, because it, like, around the sides there, it does slow stuff down a bit. Like my friend mentioned when I was talking to him about it, was that it would slow down gameplay, and that he thinks Rocket League is all about fast pace. But I think I like that sort of the sort of like, it's kind of a transition into a different type of play on those sides. And not to mention, not to mean that you can't be like super fast around that, because you got rocket boosts. Like, the thing is, in that map, one of the things I really noticed is how floaty the gravity is. Like, I didn't really realize before, but on that map I realized how floaty the gravity is. But the thing is, even, like, it doesn't, like, those sides don't prevent you from, like, they don't, like, slow down the gameplay completely. It just adds in a new sort of techniques you gotta learn. Because if you go really fast up the side, you'll, like, float over and you'll hit the wall, right? But the thing is, if you land on the wall, like, flat, you'll actually stick to the wall. That's just how the physics work in Rocket League. If you hit it on the side, you'll bounce off. Like, if you hit it perfectly on, you'll get stuck on it, and stuck on the wall like that, it actually, like, it keeps you going. Like, you'll stay, like, you won't be out long. So if you can manage to stick on the wall, bounce off the wall and hit the ball, you could do a pretty fast maneuver in there, and you can really, get the leg up on your opponent, which is pretty cool. And also, like, if you drive up slowly, and you won't jump much, and you'll be able to just get on the platform pretty easily. Yeah, so overall, Underpass. Oh, there's another unique thing about Underpass I forgot to mention. The goals, they're actually kind of slanted forward. So it's like if you take the ball and you drop it right above the goal, it could go in. Like it doesn't need to move like horizontally. Like it can move up and like straight down into the net, which makes it cool because that means there's can be some play on the overpass over top that you can actually hit the ball from up there straight into the net because it's slanted. Like the net is slanted. Like the bottom of the net is more forward than the back of the net, so you can just hit it down in there. There's been some crazy shots that I've seen playing that map. Been pretty cool. Just with that, that's like really unique, and it adds like a new flavor. I don't know what flavor, maybe strawberry. Adds a good flavor. Raspberry, blue raspberry. That's the flavor. Yes. Overall, Underpass. Yeah, I think they should keep it around. I think it's a good map. And yeah, I've had some fun on it. Let's talk about the next one, which is Utopia Retro. I just put in Utopia in my notes. It's actually Utopia Retro. I corrected myself. So Utopia Utopia Retro is basically kind of like a circle, except the ends are there. Hopefully you can see the gameplay I'm showing. It will get you an idea. But the interesting thing about this is it makes it so that like long getaways that you can get in the regular map, in the normal map, like if you hit the ball, like if the enemy is rushing towards you, you hit it past them as they're going towards your net, you can have a breakaway, right? And just go straight for the net. In this, it's much harder because they could just go through the net to the other net and get to the goal faster than you can. And that makes it more strategic, or more player on player gameplay, I guess. It's less about like leaving. I guess it's more about being offensive on this map. You don't want to be defensive because it's way easier to get back into defensive mode if you're attacking, which is good. Well, it's not good. It's just different. Like that's the big thing about these maps is like, it doesn't like it's not necessarily better or worse. It's just different, which adds like more complexity to the gameplay. More well, not really complexity, more just variation to the gameplay. It makes it so it feels fresh and new, which is something that I always like to see in new maps. Just that freshness of like, new gameplay, new tactics, new strategies you can come up with, which is always cool. And yeah, another cool thing about it is that a lot of like the big like runs, like when you're going from one net to the other net, on the normal map they're usually along the side, right, and you'll get stuck in the corner. On this map, the cool thing is a lot of those runs happen on the side of the map. Like you'll have a bunch of cars just driving along the side hitting the ball because the ball kind of wraps around the side when you're going around, which makes it really cool because you're doing like jump shots off the wall and stuff. There's a lot more play and strategy going on the wall, like that big wall that goes around the side, which is pretty sweet. It's different because it's basically like you're playing with a different like direction of gravity almost, but like when you're going along the side, like when you get to the net, it's usually on the ground or whatever. But when you're like traveling from one net to the other, it's different, and I like it. I think this is my favorite map out of the three, just because it varies stuff so much, but it doesn't like the next map, which I'm about to talk. It doesn't like make you feel more trapped. It makes it feel more like interesting. I don't know. Like I like it. The Utopia Retro map definitely feels small. It feels small, but it doesn't play as if it was small. Unless you get it over the, like, if there's like two ways. You can go like way along the outer side, or you could go along the inner side and get it over that jump in the middle. If you can get over that jump in the middle, it you can get really fast from one net to the other, but like normally it goes around the edge of the map, which is cool. It's just, yeah, I think it's a good map. It's definitely my favorite. Underpass is close second, but now let's talk about Double Goal. Double Goal is my least favorite of them, because it's basically like a regular map, except the game always gets forced into the corner. And it just feels like you're always in the corner on that map, because you can't get a straight shot, and you're always trying to get in the corner, and everyone's just piled in there, and there's not much that actually happens in those corners. It feels like it's a big mess whenever the ball gets into the corner, which is basically always. And it just, all of it always happens in the corner, and it gets annoying, gets repetitive. It's definitely my least favorite. I don't know, like, it'd be cool if, like, some of the, like, it'd be, like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to change up the corners, the gameplay near the corners, but I don't feel it works. I feel like the corner is always like the slowest part. It's like when you get the ball in the corner, it's like, okay, we gotta get it out, we gotta center it so someone can hit it in. Here it's like, okay, we're in the corner, we can't really center it, there's nowhere to center it. You kind of just gotta hit it out at the right angle in the corner, and then just everyone piles in there, and it's just a big cluster frick. You know what I wanted to say there. But yeah, it's my least favorite. But yeah, like overall, I think I'm really happy that Rocket Labs is here. They got some cool maps. I hope Utopia and then maybe Underpass make it into actual levels with actual environments. That would be pretty sweet. But overall, let me wrap this back up with competitive mode. The thing I'm really, like, that just disappoints me a bit is that Rocket Labs is not, it's not competitive. It doesn't have, like, there's no sense of progression when you're playing Rocket Labs, because you're just playing, like, I don't want to say you're just playing for fun. It's just like you're just playing. It's just a match, right? Big thing about video games is you always want to feel like you're progressing to something, right? That's why when you play Borderlands, imagine playing Borderlands when there was no XP, no loot, and no currency. You just played Borderlands. You just shot people. That would be pretty boring, because there's no sense of progression. There's no sense of you getting better, which there kind of isn't in Rocket Lab. Although Rocket Lab, like Rocket League itself, is more like, it's more like a sport than a thing. But when it comes to video games, you always feel like you want some sort of progression, like you're building towards something, right? Which you don't have in Rocket Labs. Which I still like playing it. Like, I'll still play it. I don't need, like, something to work towards, but it's nice. It would be nice to have something. So I'm excited for when hopefully those maps come to competitive, because then I'll get awesome maps. Also, big thing about Rocket Labs is or competitive is that you're playing with people with your same skill level, right? So it'd be cool to play Rocket Labs where you're more likely to play against people of your same skill level. I think they do try to match up the skill level a bit in Unranked in Rocket Labs, but it's not as like important as in competitive mode, I think. So it'd be cool to play these new maps, have the progression of trying to rank up and play with, like, people your own skill. That'd be cool, and I hope that happens in the near future. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm building towards. Not really. Anyway, yeah, that's Rocket Labs, Rocket League competitive mode. I'm pretty happy. I'm liking the direction Rocket League is going in. Hopefully they bring more maps too. Hopefully they just keep on coming, because apparently with the tile set they have, they can pump them out a lot quicker. So fingers crossed, get some more good maps in the future. Yeah. So that's Rocket League. That was my long segment on Rocket League. Again, probably going to do one every week. Wouldn't be surprised, because that's basically the only videos I've been putting out on my channel recently. Well, not even recently. I haven't been putting out anything on my channel recently, other than the last podcast. And here we go. Moving on to our next topic. Game trailers. Game trailers straight up closed this week, man. I haven't watched like game trailers. I used to like game trailers, like back in the day, maybe a couple of years ago, in high school anyway. They had like their website there was cool. They had like I liked the reviews they had. They had some pretty good reviews. They got that guy with the very like announcery kind of voice doing the reviews, which was cool. I don't know, something's production value or whatever made it sound cool. But like what I remember the most of game trailers back in the day was freaking oh my gosh, can't even say Gametrailers TV with Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley's been moved on from Game Trailers. He did the last two Game Awards shows, and he used to host this television show. Sometimes I would actually watch it on TV rather than when they posted it online afterwards. And basically, it was just a cool show where they went to developers, showed some new gameplay and stuff, made a couple of reveals and stuff, and it was cool. They just talked to the developers, asked questions. I think like it was a good show back in the day. I'm sad we don't really have any more gaming shows like that, because nowadays it's basically just everyone on the internet. It's all just opinions, and then once in a while on IGN or some random website we'll get some like, oh, developer has something to release. Let's do an interview with them. But like on Game Trailers TV, the people would actually go into these developers' like offices and talk to them there, rather than having them hosted in their studio or whatever like IGN does. Yeah, I missed that. That was cool. That, back in my day, we used to have game trailers on the television. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I missed old game trailers anyway. They had some good content. Not like recently. I haven't been watching much. Maybe I'll watch one or two of their reviews. But yeah, kind of been on the decline. So they ended up closing their new site this week, or game trailer site. I don't know. But apparently the employees were only told like a couple hours before closing, like the day of, which is pretty crappy. You'd think, you'd let your employees know if you were closing down. Maybe give them an opportunity to look for, jobs somewhere else. Hopefully they're all able to find jobs, as like game. They could probably just start up, like a lot of them could probably start up on YouTube or whatever and start out with a decent fan base and stuff. So they should be okay. Let's hope. Games industry is tough. It's a tough place to be in. So, you never quite know what's the way the news goes. Anyway, so yeah, Game Trailers, sad they're closing. Had some good content in the past. Yeah. See, that's everything's moving to like there's been a lot more like less like company organizations doing news and more individuals, like freaking Total Biscuit and stuff like that. Just individual YouTubers are basically now the main source to get like gameplay footage and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's a different world we live in than it was 5-10 years ago. And they started in frickin' 2002. They've been going for 13 years. That's a long run time for game trailers. But yeah. Sad to see him go. Now moving on to the last topic. I don't know how much I'll be able to talk about this because I don't want to give away any spoilers. But the game I will be talking about is Firewatch. So that game came out this Tuesday. Uh, it's like the developers who made it. There's a lot of big developers on it that worked on like some of the Telltale games, I think, and some other like well-known indie games and stuff like that. So a lot of people behind this that have been in the industry for a while, and overall, Firewatch was a good experience. I enjoyed my time playing Firewatch. I think it had some great narrative narration. I don't know. Like, okay, I'll tell you the premise. Premise of the game is basically you are Henry. You go into the wilderness because you want a job. You have a reason for wanting to get away and just kind of do a job that just kind of keeps you away from the world for a bit. So he goes in to be one of these Firewatch people that just watches the local forest from fire. You're up in a tower, you got a nice view over the forest, and you just look, make sure there isn't fires. If there is, you just call them in, and you're basically there to just prevent fires from taking over the world. Maybe not the world, but the forest at least that you're in. Um, so basically, you play as Henry, and the main other person you're talking to is Delilah, which is your supervisor. She lives in the tower. Well, she works in the tower and kind of lives because you kind of have to live and work there. She works in a tower just I think north of you, which is quite a hike to get to, but you can see it out in the distance. So basically, you always talk on your walkie-talkies, and that's basically how you communicate. That's your main source of communication throughout the whole game is with Delilah over this walkie-talkie, and she basically just tells you what to do, and you have good conversations and stuff. And it's the dynamic and the conversations and the dialogue between these two characters that just it feels so real and so natural that it just kind of ropes you in. And like the story arc kind of like there's a big build up in the middle. Like I can't say why, but like it gets pretty intense in the middle. And even though I knew, like I'm pretty sure there wasn't going to be any horror aspects to this game, there was moments where I felt really tense near the towards the end, just like, okay, what's going on, what's happening, right? And I'm just it's just the ending. The ending just disappointed. It disappoints. It just like you got all this build up. I was feeling real tense, scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? And then at the end, it's just like, oh, okay, all right. It just like it's not even like it's just it just doesn't fulfill what, like it doesn't go through with it. Like it feels like you got all this anticipation, and then you realize what has happened, and you're like, oh, okay. Like overall, I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I played it, but I think this really could have hit it out of the park if it had a good ending. And I don't know how the writers didn't really realize, or like maybe they ran out of time or something, but how they didn't like see that the ending would be so disappointing and to so many people, because I've been hearing that complaint from a lot of different like sources that okay, like story was great, narration was great, just loved the dialogue, and just like it really was building up towards the middle there, and then just for it to end like that, a lot of people were disappointed with the ending. And I totally agree with them, and I don't like I feel that the writers would have noticed, like you know like, but hindsight, hindsight, they probably realized that maybe they should have had a better ending, or maybe they just didn't want to. Maybe because I feel like if they had a different ending, it probably would have been a longer game. Because for me, it only took me 4 hours to complete, and I did a bit of like overall, I did a bit of exploration too. So it's like some people beat it in 3. I'm sure if you did a lot of exploration, maybe 5 or 6 hours. But overall, it's just I paid $5 per hour basically to play this game because the game was $20, and I'd say the beginning and then the two middle hours, those are worth the $5. But then the end, I'm like, I'm sad. It wasn't like I'm not like super disappointed. It's just like, oh, okay. Overall, like I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. If it weren't for that ending, probably like give it a high 9, like 9.5 maybe, if it had a good ending and they actually went through with what was happening throughout the whole story. So yeah. Anyway, overall, like if you haven't played Firewatch, if you're really into like those like walking simulator type games, like I can enjoy a good walking simulator story sort of game. There is a bit of gameplay in here, like there is like a dialogue system, so you do get to choose what you're gonna say and stuff, which is nice. But there's no like diverging story, like you're always on the same story path. Um, yeah, my computer nearly turned off there. So overall, if you like that kind of narrative story driven games, uh, go ahead, go buy it. If you really want to go play Firewatch, it's definitely a good experience if you're willing to pay $5 per hour. But for those people that are a bit uncertain and been like don't want to, like they like a good story game, but they're not like they weren't super hyped about Firewatch, maybe wait till it goes like half price at least. Because for $10, I definitely think it's worth it. For $20, it's pushing it. It's pushing it. But anyway, yeah. Firewatch, great beginning, middle, not so good ending. And guys, that's it for the Cheese Pie podcast. Yeah, those are all the topics I have for today. Went a bit longer than last time, I see even. Apparently, I could talk for this amount of time. I never knew that, but I can. And if you're still listening, congratulations. If you just skipped to the end, congratulations for knowing how to skip to the end, because that's I bet a lot of grandmas wouldn't know how to do that. So you're smarter than some people that didn't grow up with technology. Congrats to you. Anyway, I'm Cheese Pie 13. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. This was episode number 2. Maybe I'll make an episode number 3. Maybe I'll try to do this every weekend. Let's hope I can stick with it. But yeah, I don't mind talking. This is fun. I enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoyed randomly talking about random topics that happened this week. Stay tuned for the next episode if it ever comes out. I'm Cheese Pie 13. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. And, of course, bye.